everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Alexa. Today we're making Mexican wedding cookies. I measured out all my ingredients and I recommend that you do so too. You can find a list of ingredients and measurements in the link in the description. Remember to watch the video first so you can be prepared.
First, I'm going to sift my flour. This is to make sure there are no clumps. If you don't have a sifter, you can use a wire whisk or a fork. When you're sifting, you can push the ingredients through using a rubber spatula or a spoon, or you can tap the sides of it with your hands. Now that my ingredients have all fallen through, I'm going to tap the sides of my sifter so I can make sure no ingredients are stuck to its stand. If your sifter doesn't have a stand, you don't need to do this step. Then I'm going to add the walnuts into the bowl with the sifted flour in it. I'm going to stir this with a spoon until the walnuts are entirely coated with the flour. Now I'm going to cream my butter in the bowl of my stand mixer. Creaming your butter means putting it into your mixer and letting it mix by itself so it loosens and actually becomes creamy. This will allow it to combine better with the rest of your ingredients. Some recipes tell you to cream your butter with your sugar, but I find that it combines better when you cream it by itself first. The butter is sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to scrape it off of there quickly with a rubber spatula. I'm going to mix this a little longer so it becomes a little creamier. I'm going to scrape my bowl down again quickly so the next ingredients mix in better. Now I'm going to add in the vanilla extract and powdered sugar. Some of the powdered sugar is sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to scrape it off of there with my rubber spatula. I'm going to scrape down the bowl quickly to make sure everything's mixing good. Now I'm going to add about a third of the flour mixture from before. Some of it is sticking to my bowl, so I'm going to scrape it off of there quickly with my rubber spatula. Then I'm going to add in about half of the remaining flour mixture and mix until it's combined. Some of the ingredients aren't mixing well, so I'm going to scrape down my bowl again. Then I'm going to add in the rest of the flour mixture. I'm going to mix this until everything is fully combined. Some dry ingredients are sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to scrape them off of there. I'm going to mix this a little longer. My batter looks great, so let's move on to the next step. Next, I'm going to scoop my cookies. To do this, I'm using a 1 tablespoon ice cream scoop. You can use a measuring spoon if you'd prefer. Then I'm going to roll the cookie dough into a 2 to 2.5 inch log. Afterwards, I'm going to bend it into a crescent and pinch the ends a little bit. I'm also going to press them gently to make them less rounded on top. I'm going to repeat this step with all the cookies. They do spread a little bit, so be sure to place them about an inch apart. Now I'm going to put the cookies into the oven. My oven's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. My cookies took 10 minutes to bake. You should set a timer for 8 minutes and another for a few more minutes if it isn't done yet. When they're done, they should be a little bit brown on the bottom. Place them onto a cooling rack so they can cool. After 2 minutes, I'm going to dip the cookies into the powdered sugar. It's important to do this when the cookies aren't too hot because then the powdered sugar will melt, but you don't want to wait until they cool off entirely because then the sugar won't stick to them. To roll them, I'm using my spatula to remove the cookie from the sheet so I can pick it up. Then I'm going to put it into a bowl of powdered sugar and roll it in there until it's fully covered in powdered sugar. The powdered sugar may melt a little bit, and that's okay. If it melts too much, you can always roll it into the powdered sugar again. And my Mexican wedding cookies are done and looking delicious. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comments and how the recipe went for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can see when new videos are added. Thank you and enjoy!